Hello, everyone. How are you all doing today? I hope that you're all doing very, very well. My voice is still hoarse from being sick last week, but I am here to talk to all of you about Eckankar and their beliefs on dreams. Now, dreams are extremely, extremely important in this religious cult. And because of that, I think we need to deep dive their beliefs about dreams. Auntie says, what do you get when you cross disenfranchisement, low self-esteem, woo, unicorn farts, and astral projection? An eck. I like that. That's true. So without further ado, I am going to roll my intro, and then we are going to be diving right into Eckankar and their dream beliefs.
Dreams play an important role in the Eck teachings. We put an awful lot of emphasis on dreams. They are a wonderful way the Holy Spirit uses to speak to people in ways they can understand, or in ways more often they can learn to understand. And so here it's a matter of dream interpretation. It's with help and love. One of the new members of Eckankar in the Minneapolis area, I'll call him John. John had gone to his first Eksatsang class. These are the spiritual classes which are open for members. And a small group of people, maybe anywhere from 2, 3, somewhere or so. 12, 15 at times, maybe 20 or more. Well, these people get together and they hold class on one of the Eck discourses. These discourses come with membership. And so after John's first Eksatsang class, he had a dream. He awoke to find himself in a huge house. There were many, many rooms in the place, and around him he found a new group of people. Now he recognized some of the people. They were the ones in his satsang class. This group of people, they split off, and some went in pairs, some went individually. They went off to explore the many rooms in this beautiful mansion. And he sensed there was a purpose to this visit, to this mansion, but he couldn't put his finger on it. But he said, you know, that fits my personal metaphor, and that metaphor of his is, life doesn't come with an instruction manual.
Wow, so deep, Harold. As always, Harold comes in and just gives us the most profound talk. You're feeling slightly ecky today. I'm feeling slightly ecky today as well. So, of course, I have some videos that we are going to be reacting to of Mr. Harold Klemp, who is, if you're unaware, Mr. Harold Klemp is the Eckankar Mahanta, the Eck Master, the leader of the cult is basically what that means. He is the one that tells everyone what to believe. Eck, hello, Joe. Glad that you could make it. So, I have gathered some of his videos because he really likes to give these speeches and these talks and do all of that. And we actually are going through right now, they're doing online conference, if you will. And don't worry, I'm going to deep dive that soon. So let's hear Harold explain to us what the importance of dreams are. I think that's fairly important.
Dreams play an important role in the ACT teachings. We put an awful lot of emphasis on dreams. They are a wonderful way
Well, I hope you feel
the
better,
Holy
Auntie.
Spirit uses to speak to people in ways they can understand, or in ways more often they can learn to understand. And so here it's a matter of dream interpretation. Thanks for the help and love. One of the new members of Eckankar in the Minneapolis area, I'll call him John.
Again, we'll just call him John. I swear to God, I really do. I swear to the Eck that Harold just makes up all of these people. Like, it drives me insane. He just goes, so there's this guy and he's from this state and his name is, I don't know, we'll just call him this. And then he inserts some kind of story that's supposed to make you believe that you need to join this religious movement, if you will, since that's what he wants to call it, and then follow everything he says. It's all just to manipulate you.
John had gone to his first Eksatsing class. These are the spiritual classes which are open for members. And a small group of people, maybe anywhere from 2, 3, somewhere or so, up to 12, 15 at times, maybe 20 or more. Well, these people get together and they hold class on one of the ACT discourses.
Of course.
These discourses come with membership.
Oh, of course they do. Because, you wouldn't want to teach everyone how to live well for free or anything. They, of course, have to pay to do these special courses in order to learn how to interpret these dreams in this cult. You don't say.
And so after John's first Eksatsing class, he had a dream. He awoke to find himself in a huge house. There were many, many rooms in the place. And around him, he found a new group of people.
And the reason why I think that Harold makes up these people is because when he goes into telling the story, and he's not the world's greatest storyteller. I mean, look at him. Look at him. Burger King, Joe. I had Burger King the other night when I was streaming with Alonda. I was eating Burger King. But yeah, go enjoy your Burger King. But it's almost like he takes on the emotions of the stories that he's telling as if they're coming from him. Because again, I think that they are just coming from his imagination. Usually when you're telling a story that someone else told you, you're reiterating it. You don't take over the emotions as much. But watch him. It looks like he's just talking about his own experience here.
Now he recognized some of the people. They were the ones in his satsang class. So pretty soon, this group of people, they split off, and some went in pairs, some went individually. They went off to explore the many rooms in this beautiful mansion. And he sensed there was a purpose to this visit, to this mansion, but he couldn't put his finger on it. But he said, that fits my personal metaphor, and that metaphor of his is Life doesn't come with an instruction manual. So he figured, so there's
Again,
supposed to be a
wow.
purpose here and I can't find it. That's the normal thing. That's how things are. That's all he expects. So some of the class went off in pairs to look for their purpose. Maybe they could find a clue in one of the rooms.
Oh, Lord.
After a while, John found the Mahanta, and he says to the master, so, what are we supposed to do here?
Okay, so John goes to sleep, wakes up in a dream in some kind of palace. As Auntie says, dream palaces, it's an iconic human non-experimental part of consciousness. Lots of people have dream palaces with doors to other worlds. See, it's just like an imagination thing, right? You're imagining yourself in this house. Then he has some people from somewhere else, I guess, like another class that he's taking or something, that are also there, which again, your dreams will use people that you know in real life. I mean, that makes perfect sense. Your consciousness is going to pull from things that, you know, you did that day and etc. to create whatever dream you're dreaming. And then they are looking around this palace, if you will, this mansion, as he calls it. And then he comes across the Mahanta, who he just immediately is like, okay, you tell me what to do. And that's about where we are with the story. It's literally one of the most common dreams, period. Probably.
So the dream master says to him,
oh, wait, now he's not only the Mahanta, he's like a full-on dream master now. Okay?
look around, explore the rooms.
Hey.
And the master explained, he said, each in class is looking for something personal. Some of the people would want to go in pairs and do their explorations, but all would later share in class what they'd found.
Uh-huh.
And then when the class shared this information, they would learn about all the rooms in the mansion. They would learn this either through their own explorations or through the reports of some of the other people who had seen some of the other rooms.
What? Okay. You're losing me a little bit now with this story, Harold. So then they are learning about themselves by learning about the other rooms from each other. I don't know. Why did it sound so convoluted the way he just explained this?
When John had this dream, he
Uh-huh.
found upon awakening that it meant he was in a new state of consciousness.
Okay.
It was a very exciting place. He had never seen anything of such beauty before. Christ
As like the dream palace? Okay.
once said too, in my house are many mansions,
Oh.
which sounds backward, you know, in a way. You'd think he'd say, in my mansion are many rooms.
That sounds awesome, Auntie.
But it's such a thing. There are many different levels of consciousness
Uh-huh.
in the other worlds. And each person's state of consciousness will draw him to the one where he belongs.
Yeah,
And
that
why to one he belongs? Because that's where the individual is comfortable.
Okay, so dream interpretation then is just interpreting it however you want through your own filter, is what I'm hearing.
And so for this reason, John listens to the stories of the other people in the Eksatsing class,
Okay.
because he realizes that their stories are teaching him about some of the rooms of the heavenly worlds that he has not explored himself.
Okay. So again, we have this story where people meet up in John's dream and explore a mansion. And through doing that, they all learn about their consciousness. And apparently, that's supposed to teach them, I guess, how to live and how to be, and how to worship Ek, if you will. And literally, that is all for that one. See, the funny thing about Harold is that all of his stories are almost like half stories. And you'll notice that even on Thursdays, which I know last week I was sick and I didn't let anything out because I've tried editing it and I didn't want to like quickly edit it and do not a great job just because I was sick, just to throw it up and not miss a week. So tomorrow will be another Eckankar ebook review from me. But even in the book review ones, when he's telling a story, like I always feel like we get a half story. There isn't ever a real like conclusion to the story. It always seems to be, and it ends in some way that is like, okay, and then they had to look to Eckankar and look to the Eckmaster to figure out what it means and what one has to do to get through this life and be soul and closer to God. Since again, that's the point of this whole religion, is that you are a soul, you reincarnate in different lifetimes, and then you're supposed to be like on a spiritual journey in which you get closer to God. And dreaming, just like soul travel, which we talked about in our last stream on this, is one of the exercises that they use to do this, to get closer to their God. Which, again, I'm not even 100% sure if they call it God. They seem to call their deity here whatever comes to their mind in the time. Yeah, he drones on and on and on and on and on. This guy may be using hypnotic tonal inflection. He is. He definitely is. Because there's no other reason for him to be talking like this. I haven't seen anything like it. It's very bizarre, his whole cadence and his tone, and even like how he pauses. He almost does like dramatic pauses. It's very strange. I'm like, I don't trust you, Harold. You're very, very iffy, and I don't trust you. So let's go and let's check out. No, that's not what I want to say. I can't talk today. Check out the website and see what it has to say about their whole belief system on dreams, basically, right? Remember, this is where you are told to go to get your information when you join Eckankar. So you would think that they would tell us everything that we possibly need to know. So, of course, on the website, Eckankar, the Path of Spiritual Freedom, which again is eckankar.org, if you want to go and check it out for yourself. It's, if you're ever bored one day and you want a good laugh, it's a good time. So here we have Doorway to Inner Truth, Dreams, and their spiritual meaning. And again, dream interpretation is something that is an art, if you will. Lots of people do it. I don't think there's anything wrong with keeping a dream journal and, having your own fun interpreting your dreams to mean something, or even for yourself. There's books out there that go into different dream meanings. And I personally think that doing that kind of thing completely harmless. That's just some fun with your dreams and your imagination and whatever. Where I have an issue with this here is that Harold Klemp and these so-called Mahantas and Eckmasters, if you will, they're the ones that interpret your dreams for you and tell you the meanings of your own dreams. They are also the ones that are running this religion and this cult. And Harold Klemp especially does get monetary gain from running this and does do classes dedicated to teaching people how to interpret their dreams and whatnot. So again, where I have an issue is that if people are doing this and then they're going to someone like Harold to tell them how to live and tell them how to be and interpret these dreams, it worries me. I don't personally think Harold is someone that people should be trusting with their life. And I try to show you that when I show you his videos, when we do these book reviews, when I do these streams, because he's kind of a goober, okay? He's not someone that I would suggest going and listening to. I don't find him incredibly intelligent. You'll notice a lot of this is very general, and it's not a lot of information. I mean, the guy writes a 19-page e-booklet to explain his whole theology behind something. So we're not talking about a big brain dude here necessarily in terms of, please tell me how to live. I would not go to him for advice. So I get worried, of course, with the ethics of this and what they are using this for, because they are, of course, going to tell you that your dreams are going to tell you things like, oh, you need to go and take more Eckankar classes. And I can't trust someone like that. Dream interpretation is harmless, but it's horseshit like astrology or tarot cards. Yes, I do believe that. And again, all of those things can be fun if you're just doing them like for yourself, for your friends, whatever. But then as soon as you start asking people for money because you're going to tell them their future with tarot cards or with dreams, or, you're going to help them on their spiritual journey with these things, then it gets to be unethical and rather worrisome, especially when we're talking about the Eckankar as a cult. So I'll stop blabbing now. It says, awaken to your dreams. You can learn to remember and interpret your dreams, even if you feel you don't dream at all. Dreams are a way to tap into higher perspectives on what matters to you today. Now, again, that's kind of weird that they say your higher perspectives on what matters today. Because remember, Eckankar uses dreams to help you along your spiritual journey. And so you're supposed to be going on some kind of like spiritual journey. You would think that you would have the future in mind. It wouldn't just be about what matters to you today, but what also should be mattering to you in future and the like. So the wording's a little weird here, I find. Soul, your true self, never sleeps. And that's probably why I'm always so fucking exhausted. Now we know. It's always moving into the spiritual worlds. So again, this also comes into play with the soul travel thing, right? Remember in our last stream, we learned that our soul can leave our body and travel into many different spiritual worlds to go on the soul journey for us. A lot of times this happens in our sleep. Maybe you've had a dream you'll never forget. This is often a fingerprint of divine wisdom awaiting your exploration. I would argue that maybe it's just has something unforgettable about it. Like it could have been a little traumatic for you and gone over something traumatic. Maybe it was more of a nightmare. It could just have a really wonderful memory. Maybe it was a dream in which you were spending time with someone who had passed on, for example. I know people have those dreams sometimes. In that case, you maybe don't want to forget that dream because, that person isn't around anymore and you got to spend time with them. There's a lot of different reasons why I feel like you would not forget a dream. It being a fingerprint of divine wisdom into Eckankar especially, I don't think is one of them. Discover the art of spiritual dreaming. Again, everything is very spiritual here in this cult. Then, like always, we have this beautiful little area with a little rainbow here and a little stream. We got some little rocks in the stream, they try to make it appealing. Astral projection is easy. It's the pooping in and out that's really tiring. Bruises the shit out of the aura. They always put this stupid quote, okay? They find some quote by Harold, and most of the time I'm like, yeah, okay, wonderful. He said that. It's not that amazing. But anyway, the quote for this one is from The Art of Spiritual Dreaming, which of course is another book he wrote, because it's not like a lot of this is just about him writing books and selling them or anything. And the quote is, "Dreams touch every level of our life. They may let us glimpse the future or give suggestions for healing or share insight into our relationships. Above all, they can and will steer us more directly toward God." Of course. Of course. Everything is all about this soul spiritual journey to get closer to God. Excuse me. Now we get on to dreams are real, which when I first read that, I kind of stopped and I laughed because I was like, yeah, I'm not saying dreams aren't real, Harold. Yes, dreams are fake, okay? Nobody ever dreams. They're a lie. I don't think anyone's saying that. So yeah, dreams are real. People dream, but if you mean dreams are real in terms of you dream something and then it actually is happening, well, then we got some problems. So, dreams are windows into worlds beyond the ordinary. Yeah, because it's your imagination. Anyway, dreams can range from guidance into the smallest details of daily life, all the way to profound spiritual insights and the experience of unconditional love, which I would hope that you're also experiencing in your life, by the way. Eckankar's dream teachings, which again, the dream teachings, in other words, these classes you got to pay for, can help you gain insights from the past and future, grow in confidence, heal yourself spiritually, make decisions about your career and finances, like how you have to pay to take these Eckankar courses, and more. And then we have a quote here just from Nigeria. I guess the whole place said this. "I like that the Ek approach recognizes I am the best interpreter of my dreams and equips me with spiritual techniques to explore my dream worlds." Again, that's from Nigeria. And I'm kind of like, well, yeah, I mean, you would be the only interpreter really of your dreams, I would hope. I would hope that you are the one interpreting your dreams and that you aren't just blindly following along with someone who's telling you what they mean. That would worry me. And then you'll see right here, guys, that it says explore advanced dream studies in Ek. And when you click on that, guess where you go to? Guess. Of course, we end up at the advanced fucking spiritual living courses. This is what I mean. This whole cult is pretty much just created to sell these damn spiritual living courses. Again, it says, what will you experience? This ever-expanding adventure can bring you personal transformation from the moment you begin. This includes monthly self-discovery courses with advanced spiritual techniques for private study, opportunities to explore the courses in small group discussion classes. The class he was telling us that his friend there runs in the mansion. Quarterly letter and updates from a God-realized teacher, which again, I don't really even know what that means. I've been looking into it for fucking longer than a month now. And to me, a God-realized teacher is apparently just someone who Harold Klemp says, oh yes, God realizes this person as like a Mahanta. That's it. That's the credentials you need. As Harold Klemp said so. Source, Harold Klemp, with timely perspectives. Then you have spiritual initiations, profound steps of enlightenment. Then again, remember, it's a community of like-hearted people, not light, like-hearted people. So again, other people that are all manipulated and indoctrinated into this belief system and cult, and who all follow Harold Klemp as their cult leader, who respect spiritual freedom and love truth, which again, I would argue that there's nothing here that is the truth, but maybe that's just me. And then you have opportunities for further spiritual training and service. And you're just like, really, that's it? Every time that you click on one of these links, when it tells you to explore something on this damn website, it leads us to those spiritual classes. He wishes he was profound and a gape doesn't exist. Yeah, like I don't ever find anything that he says to be that amazing as an Eck master. Now, of course, we have this lovely quote. Again, they do this in every section of the website. Everything is very, very repetitive here, which I will give them that. At least we know what to expect. It's also for indoctrination purposes, though. So they always clip him. They're all about those speeches. And this one is called Dreams Reveal the Cause of Life's Events, which I think is very important that we listen to it and hear what he has to say about it. Because I want to know how they revealed this cause. Because again, it looks like all you do is interpret them based on how Harold Klemp tells you to. I don't trust it.
When you finish the day and you go to bed to get some rest, the human or the physical body sleeps. But you as soul, as everybody else who goes to sleep, soul leaves the human body and goes out in the other worlds and takes up life there and continues life there, I must say. Because we measure everything here on earth by the waking and the sleeping state of the human body. Therefore, we assume that when we go to sleep, we're just starting a dream or we end a dream, but actually it's tapping in to the expanded awareness of soul as it is existing, as we are existing on inner planes, simultaneous with existence on the earth. A little hard to understand, but then again, soul is not a 2 or 3 dimensional being. Soul is multidimensional because
again, it's hard to understand because it's a whole lot of bullhooey, and Harold keeps it that way so that you have to turn to him and have him help you interpret these dreams or tell you what to do on this so-called spiritual soul journey.
it shares all the aspects of God and that it can be everywhere at all times, in all places at the same time. This is that part that you are. Now, all that remains for most people is to remember at least a little bit. Begin remembering your dreams to get an idea of who and what you are as soul. Because you'll see things, you'll gain wisdom. Sometimes you go to temples of golden wisdom where some of the Eck masters will be teaching you in the dream state.
Hi, Kali,
They'll
hope
be
you're
giving
well.
you spiritual exercises. These exercises can help you travel further into the dream worlds or get deeper insights into the secret laws of life. In other words,
And see, again, see how he leaves it so open. And like it's something that you have to go and explore. And then how do you explore this, you may ask? Well, again, you look to him. You read his books. and how he tells you to explore and interpret it. Or if you really want to figure it out, you go and you pay for those courses he's selling, right?
You may get a better understanding of the law of cause and effect. Not the fact that it exists, but how does it work out in your everyday life? It helps you, the dream state can help you to see a cause that has occurred in your life maybe 2-3 weeks ago, and the effect that is now showing up today or in the last day or so. And you begin to put 2 and 2 together, and you realize from this that most of the misery or happiness that you have in your life today, you have made for yourself.
And see, that is the only thing I will agree with that this man says is that you are the one who makes your life. You're the one that makes your experiences. You're in control. Even if you have depression, you're still in control of feeling depressed. I know it doesn't feel that way, but you actually are. You can choose to go out and do things that put you in a better mood. Like everything is under your control. You are responsible for your happiness or lack thereof. I do agree with that. Again, my issue with his way of teaching that is that it all has to do with this spiritual journey that he wants you to go on. And again, we have to hear how everything is from him. He's the guide of this journey. He's our tour guide, and we are touring our own spiritual journeys here. And again, it's worrisome. It's very culty. I don't trust very many things that tell you to just follow one person and what they tell you to do, as we know. How dreams helped me. I want to get to this part because I think that this is very important. It says here, ex-student Vince Anani shares insights into how dreams have helped him in life, even allowing him to connect with his departed mother. Which we're doing some emotional manipulation here, obviously, right? People like this use a lot of word salad and act like they are the all-knowing savior. Yes. And again, I never trust one person showing up and doing that and saying, I have all the answers. I will help guide you on this journey. I can't. So again, remember, this is a gentleman that would have gone, paid for these classes, and had Harold probably as his Eckmaster, and then done whatever he says. And now he is going to share his insights with all of us. This thing does run very much like a multi-level marketing company in the sense that you take these spiritual courses, right? And then you can actually start teaching your own like spiritual classes and having spiritual groups. And you almost like work your way up in your spiritual journey to becoming a Mahanta or a spiritual leader if that is something you want to do, which of course worries the hell out of me as well. So let's hear the lovely story of Vince Anani here. It's about 5 minutes long, and I do want to let it just play all the way through as much as I can because I think it's important. We do want to study how they're indoctrinating and manipulating people to come and take these courses.
Among the many spiritual tools that Eckankar puts at our disposal, dreams are my favorite because they always show me the way when I feel confused, afraid, or lost, especially lost. When I was in middle school, I lost my mom. Being the youngest of the family, and with dad always gone for work, it was decided that it will be best if I lived with my uncle. mom's brother. So I did. But you see, my uncle lived in a different country, outside of the country. So there I was, away from siblings and friends. There I was, lost and confused, lost for being away from everything I've always known, and confused
So
by
vulnerable.
all these unanswered questions about the sudden death of my mom. Now, fast forward me living with my uncle. I was not only lost and confused, but I was also angry, mostly angry as I struggled to understand why. Why couldn't
Have you guys ever noticed that the biggest time that someone can be indoctrinated or manipulated into a cult like this is when they have lost someone that they very deeply loved or were close to, and they're struggling with that loss. It's interesting to me that a lot of the stories that surround Eckankar are like this. I feel like we've heard a lot of stories about people that have lost someone close to them, or they themselves were facing death and they felt vulnerable and scared and they were, confused. They're trying to figure out, why did this happen? And then they just came across, Harold Klemp here to give them all the answers.
let me explain one other portion of the story to you before I tell you why I was so angry. Before mom passed away, she was hospitalized, and I was told that I will be taken to the hospital to go see her the following Sunday. I was
Oh
excited.
no.
Then Sunday came, but no one took me.
Oh.
When they woke me up that Sunday, instead of get ready, it was, we just got a call. Mom passed away. Now, this explains why I was so angry, trying
Oh
to
man.
understand why couldn't mom wait one more day so I had a chance to see her at least one last time.
I think that's normal. I do. I see that's a completely normal reaction. I mean, asking why she couldn't wait is a little bit weird because I don't think it was in her control. But of course, being upset that you couldn't go and say your last goodbye, especially if you were told that you were going to be taken that day, that would be extremely, extremely upsetting and traumatizing. And I think most people would be angry that they didn't get to go.
Why did she have to pass away in the first place? And why do I have to leave behind everything I've always loved and go live with my uncle? Why, why, why? Now, at this point, it's worth mentioning that I was not an Ekis then. As a matter of fact, I did not know about Eckankar until I lived with my uncle and
Ah, see? Damn it.
his wife, both Ekist.
Uh,
Thank you.
oh
Now,
God. They clap.
thank you again.
Stop clapping.
Now, as I was lamenting my loss, I got introduced to the teachings of Eckankar.
Yeah,
That
or
is
the
when I
cult leader.
learned about the Mahanta, the inner guidance, the inner guide, and learned about the hue. So I will always sing the hue before bedtime and upon waking up, just like it was suggested in the book, The Spiritual Exercises of Eck.
Yeah, we
I felt
read it.
better, so I kept singing. A few months later, I had a dream. In my dream, I heard the voice.
Okay, now here is the thing. Here's the thing with the cause and the effect issue with religions like this, right? If you lose someone who is special to you, I am telling you, a lot of people get visitations from people they have lost in their dreams. If you want to believe it's them coming to visit you, you can completely believe that. My atheist ass doesn't, but it would make sense. Even my atheist ass can be like, I could see how you would dream about somebody that was very special to you who has passed away, and that they, you would have that kind of dream about them. It does not, however, mean that he had this dream due to being a part of Eckankar all of a sudden and then singing the Hue every day, like he says. But he's about to say that because he went and lived with his uncle and they had him join Eckankar and had him sing Hue all the time, that his mom came to visit him in a dream. And it's like, I could almost assure this dude that even if he wasn't in Eckankar, if the dead could visit us in dreams, his mom would still have come and visited him in a dream. It would have had nothing to do with Eckankar and singing Hue or Harold Klemp and his cult. Do you get what I'm saying? And this is my issue with these types of things. Because it's like, obviously, this young man went through a very, very, very hard time losing his mom. And I mean, it sounds like he might have even been a lot younger than he is now. He could have been a minor when this happened, because he talks about how he had to go live with his uncle afterwards. And I mean, if you're an adult when your parent passes away, you don't have to go live with another family member, right? So he was young, he was vulnerable, he's going through this awful, awful time where he's lost probably the most important person to him, his mother, right? Especially when you're a child, your parents are like the most important people in the whole world, as long as you have good parents anyway. And well, even if you don't, actually. And then it's like he gets told sing Hue all the time, and now anything good that happens to him or any memories of his mom or dreams of his mom that he has, he's going to accredit to this cult. And that makes me kind of sad. I don't like it.
Of the Mahanta said to me, "Mom is here. You wanted to see her, right? It's okay. You can open your eyes." When I opened my eyes in the dream, there she was. She looked younger, stronger, better than ever. I stared at
It
her
was a
speechlessly
dream.
for a few minutes. Then I became overwhelmed with emotions, and I quickly woke up.
Right?
After
Like, do I have to say it? I would hope that if you saw your family member in a dream, you don't picture them as being like old and decrepit and near death. I'm just saying.
that dream, I was happy yet sad. But one thing was sure,
Whoa,
I was no longer angry.
the change of emotion there.
Fellow spiritual seekers, we
Oh
do
God.
experience miracles in many different ways. And in
Fellow spiritual seekers of the Ek.
my case, my miracle was the Mahanta using a dream to help me see my departed mom one more time.
No.
And I felt a sense of closure. And that closure allowed me to accept my loss. Consequently, I learned to accept my new life with my uncle away from friends and siblings. As a result, I was able to gather the necessary strength to rise up to the opportunities and challenges that made me who I am today. Fellow spiritual seekers,
Fellow spiritual
dreams
seekers.
help me awaken to the miracles,
Now it's a
to the
speak.
secrets of miracles. Thank you.
Oh, see, like something like that's hard, because for me, I'm like, you know what? Do whatever you need to do to get closure after someone's passed on. And if you want to believe that your mom came and visited you in a dream, That even if you want to believe somebody else helped with that, then okay. If it gave you some kind of closure you needed, I'm at least glad that you got that closure that was necessary and that you were able to then go on and be happier. But I wish that this gentleman wouldn't attribute it to Singing Hugh and Eckankar, because again, it has nothing to do with that. I would rather he believes that his mom came and visited him as a ghost. I really would. Less dangerous to me. So then when we scroll down here, we get to an area that says spiritual self-discovery, advanced dream study. Eckankar offers the most comprehensive and practical study of dreams available today. By awakening your ability to remember and interpret your dreams, you can make better decisions and chart your own course in life. Starting today. Like, join the team today. And then you click on this because, of course, we're going to click on it. And where do we go to? Jesus fucking Christ! We end up at the goddamn advanced spiritual living courses. Is it a different area that does dream interpretation course? No! Now we are on a sign-up page for the damn advanced spiritual living courses. And this is what we get. Select your country of residence. And then are you a new member? And then you literally, you sign up for the exact same goddamn courses that they promote all over the freaking website. And I'm like, really, guys? Really? Like, you couldn't even set up some kind of like actual advanced dream study program, classes, whatever you want to call it. We just go to the same thing. I'm telling you, they really just want you to do those spiritual dream courses. And then we get this amazing quote. This amazing quote from New York. Now, is this coming from New York State? Is it coming from New York City? Is it coming from New York, from Flava Flav? And maybe she joined Eckankar and now she's giving us this quote. I don't know. It just says fucking New York. Which, again, that drives me nuts. I already don't believe tutorials and like these, or testimonials, sorry. I've just been talking about tutorials for like 3 days straight in terms of on passive. So it's in my head because they do login tutorials now, by the way. But I never ever believe like these testimonials and crap, right? Like I always feel like they're fake, like I said. And whenever he tells a story and he brings someone up, I always feel like it's a fake person. And then when they do this, I'm like, excuse me. But like New York said this. It just validates to me that nobody has said any of these things. It says, in Ek, we interpret our own dreams. We also understand that things we do in the dream state are real. They can bring about actual changes and even heal. And I'm like, yeah, sis, so profound. Good job. Woohoo. You know, it's like, I don't even know why we needed that here. It's a whole bunch of like just nothingness. Then, of course, what do we get to? Which is, by the way, this is the end of what they tell us about dreams. And then we'll react to a couple more of his lovely little videos that I have. But once again, what do we get to? A book. Because what is Harold Klemp trying to do? Sell his book. Hello, Squid. Good to see you. I hope that you're having a fabulous day. Selling a damn book. So again, all of this, it's like fluff to just lead you to the spiritual living courses or to have you buy the books, because this book is $16 US. This isn't another like free e-booklet like the ones we've been reading. And yes, I do plan on buying this. Don't worry. And we will go through it in future. Don't worry. But it's just funny to me that half of this page, which is again supposed to be telling those people that are in Eckankar, the people that are in this spiritual belief, religion, movement, cult is really what it is, but that's what they call it, the other things. Half of this page that's supposed to explain to us their dreaming beliefs is really just him promoting courses and then his book here. So he wrote a book called The Art of Spiritual Dreaming. And it says, discover the 8 types of dreams and how to remember and interpret them. Try practical exercises to take your dream study to another level. And now we sound like fucking It Works and Mark Pentecost. We're going on another level. It's like, no, Lord. The study of dreams in Ek can make you aware of all that you ever were, are, or could hope to be in this lifetime. We have some pretty big claims here. Apparently, this book is going to teach you everything. It's almost like the Dream Bible. And then what's really funny is at the top here, I'm not really sure if you guys can see it. It's a little small. Let me see if I can. You guys see this right here? This is great. So the Body, Mind, Spirit magazine apparently has called Harold Klemp the leading authority on the spiritual nature of dreams, which I'm not really sure what the hell that means, because there's a lot of people that have written books on dream interpretation. Trust me, if you go and you type into Google right now, dream interpreting, 500 million books will pop up of people that have written how to interpret your dreams. And this dude does not have anything special or any more education or training in dreams than any of the other people out there that have written a book on how to interpret your dreams. He just puts the word spiritual in front of the word dreaming and then seems to think that that changes it somehow. Because again, I feel like when he's interpreting dreams, is he actually interpreting dreams, or is he interpreting them through a filter of, I want to get you to join Eckankar and take my courses and buy my books? Again, that's the issue I have, is I don't trust this man. And literally, that's all we're supposed to know. Unless, and the reason why, again, I feel like they keep it very general and not much information, it's so that you go, oh, I don't really know a whole bunch about this. I'm going to go and I'm going to take the spiritual living courses, and I'm going to go and I'm going to buy the book, and then I'm going to, do the courses and read the book, and then I will be able to be aware of all that I ever was, am, or could hope to be in my lifetime. And it's like, no, okay, don't do it. You don't need to. And that is dreams and their spiritual meaning. So again, I have another video that I would really like to react to of his. Hello, Ken. Good to see you. If I paid attention to my dreams, I'd probably go insane. A touch of PTSD. Yes. And you know what? I actually don't remember most of mine anymore. Probably for the same reason. So don't feel bad. We have a lovely video of his that is talking about how dream prophecy brings spiritual guidance and protection. And I really do want to hear what he has to say about that. I know.
In this case, we're with Tobias. He's from Port Harcourt, and this is also in Nigeria.
Oh, of course. We just, again, random people made up in Nigeria that are doing stories again. Like I said, this man just randomly lists off a name and then says a place, and that's where they're from. and then they're going to give us some story, and this will explain to us why dreams help us on our spiritual journey.
He was the chief security officer at a rubber products factory. Well, the factory had a breakdown. It would take these lumps of latex, rubber lumps, and it would process them into other rubber products.
Sorry.
But when the factory had a breakdown, these rubber lumps were piling up in the fields round about, and it was becoming a real temptation. And so Tobias had a dream in which he saw thieves come to carry away these rubber lumps.
Oh my God, I am so sorry. I misgendered Tobias. It's a woman. Oh Lord, now I'm fucking canceled again. But yeah, so okay, we have Tobias, lumps, factory breakdown. Got it. Okay. Explain to us how that's going to help with our dream perception.
And so he went and told the company secretary, who was an Eckist and would understand.
Okay, wait. Wait. So a bunch of thieves come to steal the lumps. My lumps. His lovely lady lumps. And I keep misgendering this poor Tobias. I'm going to get smitten by the god of Ek. So Tobias goes to tell the secretary of the theft going on, the criminal activity. And the only reason why the secretary understood that something had to be done here is because she was a part of Eckankar, because the rest of the world would be like, oh no, we're totally fine with theft. Okay.
This wasn't enough to go on yet to justify management to go ahead and put out the money.
Wait, what? Wait, what do we need to put out money for? Jesus, Harold has money on the brain. See, 24/7. Just money. Just wants to make that money. Lord, what do you mean money? Someone committing theft at your factory and stealing your lumps. You call the policia. You don't need money for this. The management. We had to get a hold of management because theft was happening. All right? Theft was happening, and we had to get a hold of the management for some reason. And they were like, listen, we don't want to spend our money when people come and steal everything from us, because that makes sense. Because we aren't losing money by the theft or anything.
To hire extra security. So a week later, a police officer comes up to Tobias and said, you know, I've heard that some people in the village are going to come here at night on a certain day, and they're going to steal a bunch of those rubber lumps.
Wait, what?
Well, now we're...
Wait. Oh, God, Harold, this is your worst story yet. This is your worst one, I think. Okay, so now, did he say a goddamn police officer showed up there and, like, warned him? Like, the police, I guess, in Nigeria, they just don't care about theft? Is that what you're telling me, Harold? So a policeman has now shown up to tell Tobias, not the Eckankar secretary or management, but Tobias, that on a random day, just, you know, someday in future, we have no clue. It's almost like on Passive's launch date. We never know. Random day, someone's going to come and then commit more theft. And the police officer, instead of stopping this or doing anything, just came to warn this Eckist of it. All right, so this is the story so far.
Went up to the general administrator of the company real fast, and he arranged for the police to come in, because police can be armed, private citizens there cannot defend their own property in that way. And so,
which is again why I'm kind of like, why haven't we called the police to begin with when the first theft happened? But anyway, continue on.
Police were there, and when the thieves came at night, they were quite surprised. They met all these well-armed police, and they took to their heels running. And Tobias realized this was...
Really, though? That's what... okay.
was the way of one of the wonderful ways of Eck, because if the thieves had gotten through, then it would have called...
It would have just been like the first time that they apparently came and robbed it, and the management didn't want to fork out money? Like, what do you mean?
Called into question the sort of security he was providing the company. And it would not have looked very good on his record.
What?
And he realized that with the dream, he was able to get set.
Wait, is Tobias a man now? So wait, Tobias is a man. He, with his dream. Okay. Jesus, we can't even get the gender right.
For such an event occurring and not get rattled when things started to move very, very quickly, as they did that week later when the police came up with the report and told him about the attempted theft or the...
Well, again, I am kind of wondering why they didn't come the first time when there was thieving happening, and then why they're predicting thefts. This is very strange. Who came and told them? Did someone come and rat? Must have been New York.
The theft that would be attempted very, very soon.
Okay. Okay. Again, weirdest story ever. Weirdest story ever. You just got here. Usually Tobias is a man. Yeah. And then he started saying she. And I was like, okay, is it a girl? And then we went back to he. So maybe Tobias is non-binary. We'll go with that. My scientific understanding of dreams, they are the brain's function during sleep to maintain a high enough level of consciousness. Yeah, that's pretty much what it is. I mean, yeah, that's layman terms, a good way to describe it. So again, weird story, doesn't really have a real beginning, ending, and etc. So it just ends up being fucking weird.
Early one morning, I was up at 4 o'clock, and a radio host in one of the local radio stations...
Wait, lumps were being... Yes! They were coming and stealing lumps. Lumps from the factory in Nigeria that broke down. And Tobias, who just worked there, from my understanding, because I don't think he was in management, Tobias was meant to stop the theft. But because, you know, they came and they stole the lumps, and Tobias went and told the Eckankar secretary. But when she told management, they didn't want to fork out the money to stop theft. So they were like, okay, whatever. And then the cop came and was like, well, wait a minute. They plan on coming back to steal more lumps. And that time they got the police there. And then Tobias saved the day somehow and saved the lumps. His lovely lady lumps. His lumps, his lumps, his lumps. Sorry. But yes, that was the story. I don't know what the lumps were. They must have been lumps of gold because they seem pretty important to have cops show up and be like, listen, they're planning on coming back. We got to like get the SWAT here to stop them. This is dangerous. 4 a.m. That's sleeping in. You tell him, Joe, You're like, I'm already at work by then, dude.
Was just introducing his program on a psychic subject.
Again, another fake person.
And this had nothing to do with anything.
Like, neither does any of this, Harold. Neither does you come up with random stories and then try to tie them into why people should listen to you as an Eggmaster and do these courses and read these books and believe in this belief system. Not much of it makes much sense.
But the host threw in an experience of a dream he himself had had just a short time before. He called it a profound dream. He'd been having financial difficulties, and he didn't know
Of course
quite
he
how to
was.
resolve them. So he went on a camping trip with a friend, because when he got into the great outdoors, he felt he was in God's garden. It gave him a chance
I will.
to
It's
get
probably more
away
interesting than Harold.
from the hustle and bustle of everyday living and look at himself, re-examine his values, and see who and what he really was. Well, one night, Walter,
Wait, like, this is just self-reflection. Like, please, be someone that does that. Really, that's all you have to do in life. It's just like self-reflect, try to be better than you were the day before, that kind of thing. But sure, Harold, tell us why we needed Eck for this.
out there, he has this dream with his departed grandmother.
Oh, and here we go. See, once again, we have a theme where there's always somebody that passed away in like literally 3/4 of these stories. Because again, I think it's one of the most vulnerable times when people are looking for spirituality or religion. A lot of people lose someone close to that they love, and then, they start believing in ghosts even, and they want to get spirit boxes to talk to them. Or have Bells of Nevermore read their tarot cards and things like this to reach out to their ghost. You can fall for this shit when you've lost someone close to you and you're in that vulnerable state and you're looking for answers. And then this asshat shows up and claims he's the one that has all those answers and that he's written books that will help you on a spiritual journey. And did you know that you are actually soul and you're very important? You're just, being reincarnated until you get close to God. Do you see how people can kind of like fall into it in like such a vulnerable place? He really does prey on people in mourning.
He wakes up in the dream. She's in the kitchen. She hands him a catalog, and she points to it, saying, "It can solve your financial problems."
Oh, was it a catalog for Avon? Was it for Amway? Mary Kay? It might as well be.
When he woke up, he told his friend about this dream and forgot all about it.
Wait, what?
But his
So he woke up and he told his friend about the dream, and then he forgot all about it. Jesus, you can't jump around like that when you're telling a story, Harold.
financial worries were still troubling him.
Well, they weren't solved yet. Lord.
All he needed was about $2,000 to resolve them.
And let me guess, he came and he paid for your spiritual living courses and bought your books. Like Ken says, and the book is only $29.99. And then that helped him solve all of his problems. Something like that, right?
But in the catalog that his grandmother had shown him in the dream, he noticed a circled item.
I hope it wasn't knickers.
It was an Italian motorbike.
Okay. Weird, but Granny was like, I really want you to become a biker.
A Lambretti. Just like the old one he had in the garage.
Oh. Okay, so he already had a thing for these. But see, that would have been a helpful piece to add in. See, you should have started this story with one day he was driving down the road on his Italian motorbike and then told the rest and then, hooked it in. I'm just giving you some advice on better storytelling now.
But it didn't make any sense.
It never does.
So when he woke up, he told his friend the dream. Forgot all about it for 2 months.
Is this a new dream? How does this man, maybe he just needs to stop telling his friends his dreams. Because apparently he tells his buddy his dream and then he gets amnesia.
Then he's talking to someone else.
Okay.
And he happened to mention that he had this old motorbike just sitting in the garage, hadn't used it for years, was old, good condition. Friend asked what kind it was. A Lambretti. He said, what year? Told him. He said, that thing's worth about $2,000.
Wow! Oh my God! You don't say!
And then, ka-ching!
And don't worry, I am going to be clipping that. Ka-ching! And in future, when we react to Harold, every time he brings up these damn spiritual living courses or books, we're going to go, ka-ching!
It's like the cash register rang. Then all of a sudden he said, 2,000, the magic number. And just that quickly, his dream came back to him.
Okay, but why did we even need this dream? Literally. I feel like the dream was just thrown in there. Just for the Eck stuff. I mean, he really did not have to have a dream where his deceased grandmother comes and visits him with a magazine with the same bike circled in it, right? For him to need $2,000, have one of those old bikes, and then go and find out from someone that if he sold the bike, he would get the $2,000. What a convoluted story. I think not, Ken.
This is how the spiritual truths
are
making their way out into today's society.
Of course. Of course it is. Again, this story has nothing to do with Eckankar. Like, this guy had an old bike. He needed $2,000. Happened to mention it to someone that he had this bike, and they were like, hey man, did you know that was worth $2,000? It's not that deep. Again, I don't know why we needed to bring up deceased family members coming to visit people in dreams and bringing them Avon magazines to get there. But such is the storytelling of Harold Klemp, the Mahanta, leader of this cult. Check them notes.
Why did his grandmother do it?
I don't know.
Because she loved him.
Oh, for fuck's sake.
So we come back to the principle, God is love.
What?
And the second one, soul exists because God loves it. And because God loves soul, then souls should love each other.
Oh, Lord. We did all that storytelling to get to God loves you. Jesus loves me, this I know, for the Bible tells me so. Like, that's really, Harold? Again, why did we need that dream? Why? We didn't. That was the weirdest story. Harold never ceases to amaze me in his fabulous storytelling. And man, I've got lots of them for you coming in future, so look forward to that. Right now, they are doing something that is very interesting. Right now at ECK, they are doing their 2022 Eckankar Soul Adventure Seminar. It says, become a light to the world. And this is available online until January 31st of 2023. The most important point of all is that you are soul. Know that you are a spark of God that can exist fully only within the realization of that profound truth. As such, you are a light, an inspiration to others. Sir Harold Klemp, the Mahanta, the living Ek Master. Become a light to the world. Discover more about what you'll experience at this Soul Adventure Seminar, including inspiring talks and presentations, music performances, and more. Sign up is available below, free for those new to Eckankar. But what do you mean free if you're new? So registration began on the 14th. You can be guest, be our guest, and put the Harold to the test. No, sorry. Okay, I'm done. Eckankar welcomes people of all faiths and backgrounds to embark upon a virtual spiritual adventure, both personal and profound. Explore new opportunities to chart a course for your highest spiritual destiny. And then again, we have another quote from Nigeria. I really have to meet this Nigeria. They seem to quote a lot. I feel like they're important. Next time, you might want to speed them up, Beth. You know, I thought about it, Joe, but part of me wants to show how annoying he is and show him as he is, as he expects people to kind of sit and listen to him. Because if you were at that conference, you wouldn't be able to speed him up. And again, there's something to the way he speaks and his weird eye movements and facial movements and just something about him where I feel like he's almost doing it on purpose. And like Auntie brought up earlier, it's almost like a hypnosis that he's trying to put people in. It's a very weird thing. And I think it's important to kind of show it as natural as possible. But yes, if there's ever a longer one than like 5 minutes, I will not put us through that, and I will be speeding him up. They love the word light. They really do. Witches? Maybe. If you went there and then protested, just might disappear a person. They just might disappear a person, maybe. We don't want that, though. So again, Nigeria, whoever this is, or it's just Nigeria, the highlight of my experience was Harold's talk, which I have listened to over and over again. So grateful. Like, okay, we just praise Harold here. All knowing. And then again, event sign up. Become a light to the world. Because, yeah, they love that word. Get ready to embark upon an online adventure of higher awareness. Eckankar, the path of spiritual freedom. So they're putting this on. Now, the funny thing is, yes, you did see that it says that it is free for those people that are new or that are guests. So let me show you all their free pamphlet for it, because I find this very, very interesting. It seems like even when they say things are free, they do still want people to pay. Because, again, a lot of these cults and religions, they're really just about money, okay? Let's be real. So, you are warmly invited. Oh, yay, me? You might regret that. But anyway, Eckankar Soul Adventure Seminar. Become a light to the world. I think, okay. The most important point of all is that you are soul. Know that you are a spark of God and can exist fully only within the realization of that profound truth. As such, you are a light and inspiration to others. And of course, it's Harold Klemp, the Mahanta, the living Eckmaster. Do they have dead Eckmasters? I think they do, eh? They also have like ones that passed on that they say come and visit you, and that's why they always put living here. My heart is open to life again. And I guess some person named Le said that. Or its initials LE, and we just don't have the periods. Anyway, online event, November 14th, 2022 to January 31st, 2023. Realize your divinity as soul. A dynamic presentations await you. Explore new ways to move forward spiritually as a divine light of God that shines with the certainty of life. Life is a soul adventures, inspiring examples from speakers around the world. Harold Klemp, of course, because he's the Mahanta. Like, duh. The living Eckmaster speaks to the world. He shares practical and creative ways to live the spiritual life to its fullest potential. You don't want to live life half-assed, okay? Then we have the Connecting the Diamonds of Life, which is Heather Davarai and Ruzbe Davarai. Invisible lines of divine love are part of a divine plan. We have Arius Hunwanu. Abundance flourishes in a grateful heart. It says, have a problem? Need a solution? Creativity, bountifulness, and gratitude go hand in hand. Like, okay, now I sound like a fucking infomercial, don't I? Awaken to God's presence in your dreams. Ogbarode, Ogbon, Anisobuana, Asamk, and Erica Proffer. Thank God I could say her name. Dreams are a source of inner guidance, spiritual healing, and divine truth. Then we have Sue Dahlin is going to do the transformative power of Hue. Singing Hue invites divine love in every situation. Because as we know, the real answer for everything in this cult is going, ooh, like, that's it. Ever a teacher, always a student. A speech by Rodney Jones. Life offers opportunities to inwardly ask, how can I serve you? And what can I learn from you? I don't think you can learn a lot from this, other than how creepy can a cult get? Then we also have Discovering New Ways to Give and Receive God's Love, and that is by Gemma and Lawrence Chase. Father and daughter share experiences of being divine love in action. I mean, it sounds like it's going to be a great time, doesn't it? This seminar was like plugging into a booster station for the energy and love I need for the next leg of my spiritual journey. And that's MV or MV. Creative arts that open the heart to God's love. I Am Soul, composed by Bizu Fu, and it's going to be performed by the Ek Youth, the children that have been indoctrinated and manipulated into this cult. Sing along to this fun song about the happiness of soul. Because kids should be worried about spiritual journeys and not just being kids. Then we have Ek is Everywhere, composed by Carolyn Walsh and Michael McAvoy. The upbeat tempo and lyrics of this song, featuring Carolyn Walsh and group, reflect the spiritual awareness of soul. Like all cults, they really like their music here. Awakening, composed and performed by Russell Stern. Open your wings and become the awakening soul as you take in each note of this inspiring piano solo. Then we have A Song of Love Through the Ages, composed by Doug Lakes, performed by Carolyn Walsh and group again. Come along on a soul journey filled with gratitude and blessings of God's love. And then, of course, we got the Little Hugh song, which Little Hugh sounds like a rapper. Performed by Alejandro Prieto and Natalia Prieto, a bilingual duet by father and daughter that opens the heart to the light and sound of God. Because you always got to sing Hugh. Remember, it solves everything. So many spiritual seeds were planted, a great foundation. And that was said by a new Ek student. Yes, that's literally all they've called this person. Just new Ek student, you there. Become a light to the world is their spiritual art gallery. Because you can also work on your spiritual journey by doing art while you're singing Hugh, of course. Beautiful art and uplifting quotes accompanied by a Hugh song create an experience of light and sound. Told you got to have Hugh there. So there's a lot of Hugh going on because it's like we already have them like doing it twice and then we have to listen to it while we go through the friggin' art gallery. Like, okay. Now we get to hear, of course, which is what this is really all about, isn't it? Listen, get out of here, adult bot. Did you already get them? Huh. Hoo-ha! Excuse me, we're trying to talk about religion. I can't have anything sexual because of my religion. So here it says, view, download, listen. And you got the Karma and Reincarnation, which is going to be next week's book. We have Soul Eckankar podcast because, yeah, they also have a podcast. Listen to a podcast, Winning the Race of Life. Soul lives forever. Don't worry. I'll give you some of it. We'll be reacting to some. I feel more alive than ever. Great. This seminar gave me all I need to move forward. And then again, who said that? Just a attendee. No name, just attendee. What is the real reason why we're doing this, though? Well, you will see here. What does this say? What does this say? Well, online only. Registration begins November 14th. Welcome. Those new to Eckankar enjoy complimentary registration. Suggested donation for Ek members, individual or family, is $50 to $75 US. These amounts, though, they're just suggestions. You may give as you are able, within your means. And that, of course, is in quotations and in very parentheses and in very, very small type. You will receive a login password allowing you to access the event between November 14th, 8 a.m. and January 31st, 11:30 p.m. in Central Time. Just make sure that you please make a donation of $50 to $75 US today in order to do it. Easy online registration is, of course, at xseminars.org. Then it says, Eckankar near you. Explore all the spiritual skills and talents that lie within you. Navigate life with greater ease. At local events or in study groups, you'll find people who share your desire for truth and have had spiritual experiences like you. Truth is for you to discover through your own personal experiences. Which, I mean, no, not, I mean, yeah, you have your own personal truth, but then there is the truth that you can't filter through your own personal experience. But anyway, I won't get into all of that right now. But as you can see, everything is just kind of like a money grab at the end. Because even this, they're like, oh, you don't have to donate, but we do suggest $50 to $75. I mean, if you're new, you can come for free, because then the whole thing is, if they give it to you for free if you're new, then they're hoping that you will then, of course, sign up for more seminars, more courses. You'll buy more books, and then they get to make more money. That's 125 Canadian. Yeah, about that. So they painted in saying some. Does this really change our day-to-day lives? Apparently. And that's the thing, is that whenever it comes to these spiritual beliefs, that's really all it is it's song singing and painting and chanting and praying, and then going to seminars and hearing speeches like we heard Harold talk about today, and then just being told to pay a bunch of money to them. You don't need any of that to go on a spiritual journey in life. And if you don't cough up the donations after the payment, then they shun you. Well, the thing is that Harold, of course, tells everyone that they are on this spiritual soul journey. So it's like, if you don't read these books, do these seminars, sign up for these courses, then apparently you are not on your soul journey well enough. It's like, it's almost like an MLM, right? Well, they'll be like, oh, you didn't work hard enough. That's why you're not rich and famous from this. Well, Harold will say, oh, well, you obviously don't care enough about your spiritual journey then. You don't want to be closer to God. The whole point is to be a co-worker with God. That's what all of this is about. So in order to do that, you got to do these courses, sing these songs, do all of this crap, and then that's supposed to help you on your way of self-discovery, if you will. But I can assure you that the only person that can find your life purpose is yourself. You are the only one, and you don't really need help doing it. Same as Scientologists. Yes, it's very, very similar. NXIVM was similar. That's kind of the same thing. Like, NXIVM did the same, although instead of it being like to get closer to a god, other than Keith Raniere, it was also to gain these courses and get this higher state of consciousness and know the truth, right? All of this is about knowing the truth about our world and then getting closer to God as a big part of it. But at the end of the day, for me, it's just about them making money and scamming people and then preying on people when they're in their most vulnerable moments. As we keep seeing over and over again, this one specifically, Eckankar here specifically preys on people that are in mourning, just over and over again. A lot of the stories in these books and that he tells in these speeches tend to come from someone who's apparently just lost someone that they really cared about, so that they're, of course, looking for answers. And it seems like Harold uses dreaming as a way to manipulate them further. It's like, oh, you had a family member that passed on come and see you in a dream that you dreamt of. Oh, that was actually the Eck. The Eck Master is trying to help you on your spiritual journey. And he's gifted this to you. And he does it in a way so that these people end up feeling almost like they owe him and this spiritual movement for that experience. As you heard, like the young man was so happy earlier when he went on his speech about how his mom had come to him in a dream. And he was like so happy that Harold Klemp and the Eck Masters here and the Eck allowed him that in a way. Like he was like, I'm so grateful that I went and lived with my uncle, got into Eckankar, and then they like helped my mom come and visit me in a dream. And it's very, very predatory to me. Very, very cultish, very, very manipulative. And I don't trust it at all, which is why I keep doing these deep dives and keep doing these e-booklet reviews. And again, you are going to get another e-booklet review from me sometime tomorrow. So stay tuned for that. Tomorrow's e-booklet is actually going to be the Divine Guidance e-booklet. So look for that tomorrow. I'll be releasing it sometime during the day. It might be a little later than my usual videos just because it depends on how the day goes. But I don't have a lot more to do on it, to be honest. I'll probably finish it today. Excuse me. So I want to keep showing you guys like this whole cult and what their belief systems are, what Harold's telling everyone. I am going to go to some of these seminars. I am a new member, and therefore I have been gifted this for free, and I would be dumb if I didn't do it, right, for this deep dive especially. I feel like going to this seminar is very, very important. So I am going to be doing that in future, so stay tuned for all of that fun. And that's about all I have for you guys today. I hope that you all have a fabulous, fabulous rest of your day. Go and do something that you love, because, you know, learning about all of this stuff and talking about cults, it's a little bit heavy. It is. I know that I try to make it as light as I can and that we joke a lot here and stuff, but it really is some heavy stuff. So go do something that you love today. And remember to sing the song of Hugh, I guess, if your day is going wrong. And according to these guys, it will fix everything. I do sound better. Thank you, Ken. I'm getting there. I'm still not like 100% better. Whatever disease this was that took me has been awful. I don't want anyone to catch it. Go get your flu shots. Get all your vaccines. And stay warm. And be safe. And have a fabulous rest of your day. And yes, I will see you all very, very soon with another one, and tomorrow with the Eckankar e-booklet review. Alrighty? Mwah! Bye! And remember, don't join a fucking cult.